Hi, I'm Phyllis. My website is southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to make one of the recipes from one of the viewers, and this is from, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but it's, I'll call it Bhebeb. And I think it was from about the 21st of September, I'm not sure now, but it's called Roast Corn Grits. Now, I had to alter her recipe a little bit, or him, I'm not sure if it's a he or a she, but I could not find any yellow grits, and I looked and looked, I could not find them. So I had to use white grits, and so I've also kind of halved this recipe, so I'll leave the recipe down below where I halved it. If you wanted to make it more, you could just like double it, I guess. So anyway, we're going to start out by cooking our grits, and we're going to roast some corn. So go ahead and turn my burner on. We're going to use 2 cups, and I'm using the low sodium, fat-free chicken broth. And we need to get that up to a boil, and then we're going to dump in 1/2 cup, and these are the white grits and the quick cooking kind. So we'll let that come to a boil, and we're going to also at the same time roast our corn. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of butter. Let that get melted. And we're going to use 1 cup of yellow corn. Now, this is frozen, from a frozen corn, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this after we get it roasted. So, anyway, we're going to just put that in the skillet with the butter. And let that roast, and we're just waiting for our water to come to a boil. So while this is happening, we'll talk a little bit about what Mr. Bucky and I have been doing. When we took the green recliner, if y'all will remember a week or 2 ago, out of the den to put it out on the curb. Of course, our neighbor ended up wanting it, which was great, but we had trouble getting it out of the door because we could not get the back off of it. The thing was just kind of frozen on there, and it did come off before, so we knew it would somehow come off, but we decided to go ahead and see if we couldn't get it out the back door. Well, as it turns out, our back door is a 32-inch door, not 36 like the front door is. So the recliner, when we originally took it out of the RV, was actually a 36-inch door. And of course the RV was a smaller door, but you had more room to maneuver it to get it out of the RV. So while we were taking it out of the door, I was on one end and Mr. Bucky was on the other, and we were having a lot of trouble getting it out, so I said, well, I'll just pull it. And I pulled it, and I ripped off the little connection on the storm door that causes it to close properly. I don't know what you call those things, a little cylinder thing that's got oil or something in it. Anyway, I ripped it completely off. And when I ripped it off, what it did is it tore off the little grooved connection that slides up and down on the door so the door closes softly, and it bent it to the point that there was no way to fix it. So we had to order a new door, or Mr. Bucky did. He ordered a new door. And so after we ordered the door, well, hold on, let's put this in there. My butter is hot here, so we're going to turn that burner down a little bit and just go ahead and dump that corn in. That's 1 cup of yellow corn, and this was frozen. If you could find fresh corn, that would be a lot better, I'm sure. So just spread that out. We're going to let that toast a little bit. We don't want it to get like really super brown, but we want it to get a little brown. All right, so then back to the story of the storm door. So Mr. Bucky ordered a 32-inch storm door, and we ordered that from a local building supply place. And so anyway, we got the door, everything looked fine, and it was a door that could go on the right or the left. And it appeared that the instructions were for the opposite side that we wanted it, so we had to reverse all the instructions. So needless to say, we struggled for, I don't know, several hours a day for about 3 days. I kid you not. And why was that? Mr. Bucky said, well, why don't we just get Ricky, a friend of ours who does some work for us sometimes over here, to install the door. So I called and asked, not to do with Ricky, but just to find out what was the standard cost to install a storm door. It turns out it was $150. The door didn't even cost that much. So we talked about it and decided we would do it ourselves. Bad idea, really bad idea. So it took 2 brains to get it up, both mine and Mr. Bucky's, because we could not figure out how to do it and make it fit right. Well, finally, after the 3rd day, we had the door up. It fit great. But what we didn't realize was that the glass from the top of it had come down in shipping. The screen that was on it had come loose on one complete side, and so we had to figure out how to fix it. So today what we're going to do is, the glass that came down was from the top, and it came out of a little weather stripping, so we've got to get it back up, get some screws in it to hold that up, and then we got to put the handle on it. So my guess is 2 people, that's going to take several hours, knowing us. So but we got to get it right. Anyway, so we're going to have this for a little bit of a lunch here in order to give us some energy. So I've got 2 cups of chicken broth, and I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of grits. And we're going to let those cook. Now those should cook in about 5 minutes. So we're just going to turn that burner down, let them simmer for a little while. In the meanwhile, our corn is cooking and hopefully it's going to get brown. I'm going to turn that burner up a little bit. We want just a little bit of brown color on there. Alright, so we'll be back when this gets done and the corn gets a little bit brown, and we'll continue with this recipe. Alright, we are back and our corn is nice and toasted. I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but it's just a light brown. So what I'm going to do is put that in a little bowl. Let's see if I can find a place. My grits are done. We'll put that in a little bowl and let it cool off just a little bit. Just lightly brown. Let it cool just a little bit. Alright, and now I'm going to cook the onions. This is, I think this is 2 onions, green top onions. We're just going to cook them just a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grind up this corn, and let me tell you why. Because it is tough as shoe leather. It is. That's why I think fresh corn would be better if you could find some fresh corn this time of year. There it is. I'm going to grind it up because we loved this, but the corn was tough. So I'm going to grind the whole business up right in my food processor. So hold on. We're going to do that right now. Grind it up. Let me move y'all closer so you can see. This will eliminate the tough outer covering of that corn being so tough. Look at that. Boy, does that smell good. It smells delicious. There you go. That way we don't have to worry about the super tough, really, hulls on that corn. Now I'm going to dump that into the grits. Just heating up those onions just a little bit. Now if you can find the yellow grits, of course that would be much better. Whoops. Y'all are way over there. Alright, so we got our grits, they're all done. And dump that corn right in the grits, which is going to add a wonderful flavor to those grits. Make it a lot more to taste like corn. Alright, just stir that around in those grits. Yeah, it'd be much prettier if I could have found the yellow grits. Still a few little kernels of corn that didn't grind up, but that's okay. Just let our onions cook just a little bit. They'll finish cooking right in the grits. Add another ingredient. This is 4 ounces of cream cheese, and it's the full fat cream cheese. I had this sitting out a little bit, and in our area we can't get the little 4-ounce package of cream cheese anymore. You used to be able to get that in the 60s and 70s, but they don't carry it anymore where we shop. So you just take an 8-ounce pack and cut it in 2, or if you want to make the full recipe, you would use a whole 8 ounces. So we're just going to let this melt in the grits. Y'all, I'll have to tell you, this is so good. I just couldn't believe how good it was. And I think the main thing is getting that extra corn taste in there by toasting that corn, and also the cream cheese. Just makes it absolutely delicious. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. And I do use that Himalayan pink salt. Stirring it until the cream cheese gets all melted and incorporated. Now, the young lady or gentleman who left this recipe, y'all might want to make a comment and go more in detail on how this is mixed up when you do the full recipe. I'm going to add just a teeny bit of milk to that, or half and half. Just to get it a little bit smoother. Well, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons. And I'm not sure if she or he fixes it with add milk, or just exactly how she does it, whether she cooks the grits separate then adds the chicken broth. I'm not sure, because she didn't say so in the recipe. Anyway, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the bowls, and I can't wait. So anyway, we will be back in just a minute when he picks us something to drink, and we're going to put this in the bowls, and we're going to have it for a meal, so we've got more energy to finish that storm door. We'll be back. All right, here is the meal, and it's called Roasted Corn Grits. Got our tea ready. I'll have to tell you, it is fantastic. It really is. So we're going to take this in and let Mr. Bucky see if he can taste of it and give y'all his opinion. All right, I'll put the recipe down below, and I will see if I can find the comment where this recipe was and just transfer that to the instructions down below. All right. All right, here's Mr. Bucky, and he's going to give this a taste for y'all. Now, he's already had it before and loved it, and we didn't have the corn ground up, though, so it's a lot of hulls from before, right? Yeah, all right, give it a taste and let him know what you think of it. Of course, we have to tell you that he loves grits in any way, shape, or form.
It's just good.
It's just good?
Yeah.
We ought to entitle this video, It's Just Good, huh?
Mm.
All right. All right, y'all, let me show y'all the storm door. Hold on a minute. All right, here's the new storm door, and it fits pretty good, except that we've got to get that screen right there back in. This thing was completely out, but I know how to fix that, no problem. But here's the thing, see how it's down? Wait a minute, let me find out where y'all are. There you are. You see that? It's about an inch down from the top. Let me go inside and show you what it looks like in there. All right, here's the inside of the door. You can see how that glass right there is down. So we have to push it up and then put these little screws right here back in. And I think I'm gonna actually put some super glue on that to make sure it always stays up. And I want to know if y'all can see that. You see this little bug right here? Yeah, this is a Chinese stink bug, and they've got an official name, but we'll just call them a stink bug. What they're trying to do is come in through this door for some reason that we don't know. We've probably killed, I'm going to take a wild guess, say 20, maybe 30 of them in the whole time we've been trying to put this up, because what they're trying to do is come in and hibernate in our home over the winter, but that's just not going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to have to kill him. And the way you can tell that he's the Chinese import is, you probably can't see it on this video, but on his antennas, it's got white, then black, then white again. Yeah, and Mr. Bucky had a real time with them because they kept lighting on his back. Now, if they had been lighting on my back, we wouldn't be putting this door up together. I can promise you that. All right. We will see y'all next time. Bye for now.